Good afternoon, YouTube. It's your homeboy LocsNLoad Firearm Reviews here today. There's been a lot of stir out there after Mr. Officer Tatum had done his video on his version or his opinions on the Ahmaud Arbery case. It's done 1.6 million views, and a lot of people have been talking about it when you do those numbers. There's a lot of people who agree with him, but thankfully Mr. Robert Patillo made a very detailed and educated video that debunks a lot, pretty much most of what Mr. Officer Tatum had said or was talking about. I'm glad for people like Robert, because Robert really clarifies the situation and what Officer Tatum was saying. And the whole video, Officer Tatum was saying facts, 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 but most of his video are not facts. They're just opinions, and very wrong opinions at that, especially for a black man. But anyway, I'm gonna play the video by Mr. Robert Patillo. It's about 11 minutes, and he gives a lot of great information as someone who is really well versed in the Georgia law system, someone who has actually done murder cases and self-defense cases. Just because somebody is a cop does not mean they know the law. Just because somebody is in the military doesn't mean they know how to shoot. So I'm gonna play the video by Mr. Robert Patillo, and I'm gonna come back at the end and kind of give my little thoughts. So.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. So I just got done watching the Brandon Tatum, or Officer Tatum video regarding the murder of Ahmaud Arbery. He holds himself out to be a police officer and to have substantial knowledge of the law and self-defense laws, and I think he said open carry laws and a bunch of other things. But I wanted to dispel most of the myths that he put out in his video. And at the very top of the video, the first thing he talks about is selling t-shirts on his website. Also likes and subscriptions. This video has, at the current time, 1.2 million views. Every other video on his channel has about 30,000 views. So clearly there's a income-based motive in putting this disinformation out there. However, I think it's important that we get real information to the forefront so that people can understand the actual gravity of this case. So to begin, I've practiced criminal law in the state of Georgia for 12 years. I've had murder cases, and this is that same jurisdiction which is in question. I've done self-defense cases in the state of Georgia. On this first question of stand your ground, the reason that Mr. Tatum's argument regarding stand your ground does not make sense is that according to the holding that we saw in Brunson v. State, an individual cannot initiate the contact, cannot create the situation, and then claim self-defense in a case. So, for example, you do not have the duty to retreat from a felonious act if you are in imminent danger, but you cannot put yourself in that situation and then claim self-defense. I.E., you cannot leave your house, call up your friends, get in a pickup truck, form a posse, drive down the street, cut somebody off, and then get out of the truck that you're in with a shotgun and claim that you were in imminent danger and claim self-defense. That is not defense, that is offense. That's like hopping into the ocean for shark and then being mad when the shark bites you. This does not make sense logically, and clearly is not the law in the state of Georgia. Secondarily, on this question of citizens' arrest, yes, you are legally allowed to have a firearm in the state of Georgia. You're allowed to open carry a firearm. But when executing a citizen's arrest, the first thing that has to be taking place is it has to be during the commission of a crime, not afterwards, not a crime that you think is taking place a few minutes ago. You are not a vigilante. There is no Batman law in the state of Georgia that tells you to run after people who are committing a crime. That's what we have 911 for. You are not the Lone Ranger. You will get yourself in trouble. And understand, Mr. Tatum interchangeably uses the words burglary, and robbery in his video. Those are not the same thing. And also, the duty is upon the person executing the citizen's arrest to make sure they are right about the facts. You can only chase or give chase or follow somebody to execute a citizen's arrest if you know for a fact a felony has taken place. You cannot follow somebody if you believe a misdemeanor has taken place. This is why the clerk does not chase you out of the store if a candy bar gets stolen or if you shoplift, because the liability falls on that individual. So with that in mind, when the McMichaels followed and cut off and then got out of the car and started the altercation with Mr. Arbery, they were outside the realm of the law of the state of Georgia. This can be seen in Patillo v. State in 2005 and also Carter v. State in 1998. It is very clear and settled law in the state of Georgia. You are not to give chase to individuals who have committed either a misdemeanor or that you do not have clear evidence of a felony taking place. If you know somebody just killed somebody, then you are allowed to give chase. If you have clear evidence that a felony has taken place, you can give chase. All the video evidence in this case indicates that at most there was a misdemeanor trespass, and even if something was picked up, that's not a burglary, that would be theft by taking, which is also a misdemeanor, meaning that they had no legal right to give chase. And as articulated previously, they had no legal right to claim self-defense in the case because they started the situation by following the individual. And then even once they had the person cornered, when you are executing a citizen's arrest, the only thing that you are doing is detaining the person until law enforcement gets there. If you are already in a vehicle with two other individuals, a second car, and 3 guns, then the person is sufficiently subdued. You have no reason to get out of the vehicle, and therefore you have created the situation that caused the ultimate death, and you cannot claim self-defense, as we said previously, based on the ruling in Brunson and on the Georgia self-defense law. Despite the expansive nature of stand your ground laws, they do not give you the ability to hunt other individuals down. Now, going forward to the question of knee-jerk reaction, we need to wait for all the facts to get out. This murder happened in February of 2020, and the people were not arrested until May. That is not a knee-jerk reaction. That is not waiting for all the facts to get out. That is nearly 3 months of time for this information to matriculate. And remember that we have the statements from 2 county commissioners in Glenn County, Georgia, who say that the local prosecutor blocked officers from making an arrest at the scene. The investigating officers who responded to the call wanted to arrest the McMichaels before the district attorney told them directly not to arrest them. This is believed to be because Mr. McMichael, the elder McMichael, worked as an investigator for the district attorney's office for 20 years. Now, that DA's office ultimately recused himself. It went to the next district attorney, who wrote a memo laying out all of the defenses possible for the McMichaels before ultimately recusing himself because his son worked for the Glenn County district attorney's office. And then it went to a third prosecutor who, after some public pressure, said he would refer to the grand jury. Not that he would make an arrest, just that he would refer to the grand jury. Now, if you are from Georgia, you remember the Kenneth Walker case from 2003, where a young black man was erroneously pulled over by the police, handcuffed, put on the ground, foot in the back, and shot in the back of the head and murdered. And that case went to the grand jury and was never indicted. Grand juries are where you send cases to die. And that is why they were trying to punt and send it to the grand jury so they would not have to arrest the McMichaels. This is why the GBI, the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, stepped in to prosecute the case. This is why they appointed a special prosecutor, Jeanette Holmes, from Cobb County, Georgia, clear across the state, because they knew they could not trust the local prosecutors to prosecute this case. And this is why the United States Justice Department is investigating the case for hate crimes. People have to stop with these social media law degrees. If you don't know what the hell you're talking about, you don't need to be on the internet talking, because these are things which are easily researchable. These are things that you can look up. And just because you want to get views and likes on social media does not excuse you from making incorrect statements, because there are legal gun owners, there are people who are exercising their Second Amendment rights, who will listen to and believe the BS that has been said by Mr. Tatum and then find themselves in legal jeopardy. It's not a knee-jerk reaction. The law is clear that you cannot chase somebody with a firearm to stop a misdemeanor trespassing. You cannot create the situation and bring a gun into the situation and then claim self-defense when you have a posse of 3 people with you in pickup trucks to stop an individual. So yes, murder was the proper charge, and yes, premeditated murder was the proper charge. In Georgia, we don't have first, second, third-degree murder. We have malice murder, meaning that there was malice aforethought, as in you put planning into the killing of this individual. And then you have negligent murder or second-degree murder. In common law, it's called depraved heart or murder, where it's just kind of happened in the heat of the moment. The reason that this will fall into malice murder is because these people weren't just already out, driving around in their pickup trucks and happened to see somebody running, tried to confront him, and then happened to have their guns. They had to coordinate with the McMichaels and the trailing vehicle that filmed the altercation to get their guns, get their trucks, load them up, chase this individual down, stop him in the street, and then kill him. So even if the direct plan was not to kill him, the clear result of the actions which they took, could be reasonably calculated that if you have 3 people in 2 pickup trucks with guns, that somebody would be injured, somebody would be hurt. And so on this discussion about wrestling the gun, trying to take the gun away from the individual, Mr. Arbery had every legal right to defend himself from an armed posse. If he had run away, the other direction had been shot, they would have said that him running was an admission of guilt, that it was an indicia and an indication that he had done something wrong. He had the stand your ground right to not have to retreat first before asserting self-defense. Therefore, when the younger Mr. McMichael, Travis McMichael, got out of the car with the shotgun, he had every right and every ability to stop this individual from killing him in any way possible. So Mr. Tatum's argument falls and fails on every single thing that he said. But the one thing that we can say is we are glad that there was an arrest. We are glad there was a video. And what we need next is a federal investigation into this matter. And we need to ensure that justice is served for Mr. Arbery and Mr. Arbery's family.
Alright, welcome back, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. I thought it was very well detailed and well spoken and well put. I'm from Florida, so I do not understand Georgia law, nor do I claim to know Georgia law or be a knowledgeable person in the law. But I'm glad for people like Mr. Robert Patillo, who are well versed in laws like that, who make these videos for people like me who don't really know things like that, and they'll see like Officer Tatum videos and think that he's telling facts because he was a cop at one point. And I like videos like this because it debunks all the BS that people like that say, because he's basically just making it seem like Arbery deserved what he got, or Mr. Arbery was stealing, even though, you know, there's proof that the homeowner said nothing was stolen, you know. So I'm not gonna get into it too much. You guys saw the video. I saw from some posts that Mr. Tatum and Mr. Robert were trying to meet up for a talk, and that happens. I would love to see that video, and if I can download and put it on my YouTube channel, I will. But you know, besides that, guys, that's about it. You know, just be careful about who you listen to for facts, because you know, with facts you can word them in certain ways or pull up independent sources like everyone likes to say, but nobody really tells you who the independent source is. They just say independent source or credible source. They don't really give a name like, hey, I got this from Josh Williams who works here, you know. So I like videos like Mr. Robert Patillo's, because it makes it real easy for me to kind of break down and find what's really true. So guys, that's really all I got to say. You know, hopefully you enjoyed the video, and hopefully these guys do have a meetup or a talk, and that's on video to where I can watch it and then hopefully spread it out to you guys so you guys can kind of make your own opinions. Alright guys, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Like, comment, subscribe. It's your homeboy LocsNLoad. Wagunda. LocsNLoad out.